Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast with your host, Lauren Dulgeru, aka the Solutionist. You are about to discover priceless insight, experiences, and perspectives that will inspire and empower you to break down your own obstacles and reprogram your own limiting beliefs. All while raising women business owners to the pedestal that has been long awaiting, the coronation of true, principled women in business. Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast.
Welcome to the Principled Women in Business podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Dulgeru, aka the Solutionist, and I help business owners do more business. Welcome to the podcast, where we help business owners just like you, aspiring business owners, perhaps just like you, to have your obstacles overcome, your problems solved. We're here together as a team, as a community, as women, really overcoming obstacles and serving each other, our communities, businesses, customers, and clients. I'm very excited today. This hit very near and dear close to my heart. If you had known me when I was a younger human, aka a teenager, I was less than social, you wouldn't recognize me. So my guest today, Miss Joanna Tress, really speaks clear and home to me because there was a time where I wasn't able to express my authentic inner child self. And I truly believe that's very important as business owners, but truly as humans, to really be able to tap in and be our joyful inner child, to find the beauty and the joy in everything that we do all day long. I'm sitting here at the lake today, and if you could just see, can you see here in the background some of that Spanish moss dancing in the wind? It's beautiful. When you really tap into that, that's where we're going to be finding joy, and that's where we're going to be bringing the most to our businesses, to our customers, to our clients, to our families, to our children, to everybody that we meet every day. So without further ado, please enjoy this week's episode of the Principled Women in Business podcast. It is my honor to bring it to you. I have Miss Joanna Tress with me today. Now, Joanna is very exciting in my experience because she helps people bring out that animated, that true self, that inner child portion of us. And for many years, I myself personally had an issue with this. You know, you want to appear this certain way, you want to do these certain things, but when you really let that go, it's freedom. So I'm very excited. Joanna, please come in and tell everybody about yourself, what you represent, and how you're really moving women in business, women in life, women in emotion and passion forward.
Hello. I am so happy to be here with you, Lauren, the Solutionist, and your amazing audience. I am Joanna Tress here in Orlando, Florida, and I have a company that is called Matana. Matana stands for Matthew and Joanna. So my husband and I, who've been married for just 2.5 years, wanted to really make a stand for creative expression in adults.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's a hard concept for adults.
You're right.
And I know that my listeners out there are like, creative expression in adults, that's embarrassing. But it's not, it's freeing. And that's what I love about what you do is you really bring forth that inner child, that person that we used to be when we, wore the child's size shoes. You really excite me in what you do.
Yeah, we do. At that time, we didn't worry about things, anything major. Our parents did. So when you're young, without a care in the world, and you just want to be yourself, you're at school and in the neighborhood and community discovering things, and then you find out what you enjoy, what you might even be good at, And then you roll with that. So when you're on the playground, there are people on every different amusement on the playground doing a variety of activities. They find their little niche among their circle of peers, and they can just be themselves before we start to adjust to whatever expectations there might seem to be outlined for us in society. Okay, the boys are going to behave like this, the girls are going to behave like that. And, you have to fit in to certain, as I said, behavioral expectations or even interests. Oh, that's not cool anymore. I don't want to be a nerd. So,
yes.
Things like that. But before that, a lot of times comes with middle school, the peer pressure. But even then, that's when we start to middle school and high school is when we start to discover our gifts and things that we can be confident about, that we enjoy. And a lot of that includes the performing arts, singing, dancing, playing an instrument, acting, etc., on stage or in front of the camera. And then there comes the adulting. Okay, we're going to college. We're trying to get our degree. We're trying to focus more. And so it narrows down a little bit more. So in college are the ones who are truly passionate about things and excel. Then you go into the real world in the workforce, and you're getting married and having children. And so where does that creative expression go? For many people, it goes in a box on the shelf.
And you bring that up so poignantly. Once upon a time, back in elementary school, actually, you followed my exact timeline. Elementary school, middle school, I was a violinist, and I had worked up where I was first chair in the orchestra.
Yes.
I was really good, but like you said, that geekness. At some point, I got into high school. I transitioned out of it because you wanted to be accepted. You didn't want to be that geek. You didn't want to be this or that. But then also here now in my experience today, there is also a high school classmate of mine. And she's fantastic. Her name is Sarah Best. Hi, Sarah. I had to tag you out. But she is a opera magician. And her voice, she does plays, song, musicals, opera. She's magical. But she's always been that person. Like, she never lost sight of that inner self. She must have had a path. I wish I knew more about that path that she took so we could all give more of that advice. But I guess that's why you're here. But that's really funny how you followed my precise story, and exactly like you don't want to be that geek. So you stop doing those things that bring out that inner child, that creativity, because you don't want to be that person, right?
Yes. There's pressure. There's peer pressure. There's pressure from our families and our communities that people, they have to make certain choices to whether they're going to give up certain things. And sometimes that whole free to be me, that some people think that's a phase. It's a phase maybe to participate in a protest, to stand up for what you believe in, or they think it's a phase to experiment with various performing arts. Everybody tries a band in college or something like that. But what if a person had a way of holding on to that because it's really their identity? They realize, no, I am a creative. Isn't it interesting how in the past decade or so, creative has changed from an adjective to describe how you are to actually a noun to describe who you are? Isn't that interesting that people are embracing that identity? I am a creative. I am an artist. Maybe I haven't done anything, performed for folks in 10 or 20 years, but it's still inside of me. And there are people walking around looking for that opportunity.
You're a channeler. You must be. Because what people don't realize is we're all creators. That's the exact thing. At some point, we were told you shouldn't be that. You have to be very serious.
Yes.
You have to do the adulting thing, right? And then we were told that you're not a creator because you have to adult. And you're bringing people back to the creatorship.
Exactly. And what I love about what we do with our 2-hour workshops, which are called, unapologetic creative expression. It's 2 hours with a group of folks on Zoom, as we started during the pandemic, to first, let's start getting into some positive energy. You have to just raise that energy level and bring those positive feelings, those positive vibes first. So we have some little activities that we're doing. So everybody gets up there, pumped up. Woo! Then comes the creative part. We start with just happy memories, experiences, a little show and tell. And we talk about, what are some ideas and dream scenes? Maybe a little something that you wanted to act or play or do. So then you start to bring out those creative ideas and share them in this safe container of like-minded people who want to go outside of the box, that prescribed box of that responsible role, be a little free. And so many beautiful things result from coming together to do that. And so even if you are super duper busy, you have 3 opportunities every month. You have the fantastic first Friday and the sensational second Saturday and the thrilling third Thursday of the month to just take 2 hours of your time, relax, and then join a few people and see what happens next for you. And then I'm here to support people if they opened up a little creativity and they would like to take it further. Well, my husband and I, we have experience with all of the performing arts between the two of us. And we're there to nurture that opportunity for people if they want to take things even further and look at possibly performing again.
Performing again or performing first?
Either way. See, we have both. We have folks who have,
do you help people
like,
really break through that? I used to call it stage fright.
Yes.
Because I used to do that too. But at some point along the way, I was just kind of like, you kind of like me or you don't. So, no, but really, I took a class in high school for public speaking. Yeah. And at the time that I started this class, I was barely standing up or raising my hand to say anything in front of all of these people, right?
Yeah.
But this woman, like she was a very large, robust, creative, like she had flaming red hair. She was the most magical English teacher ever. And she happened to teach public speaking, but she had the most flaming red hair and she would flounce around and jump around on chairs. If you guys aren't seeing the video, you should come see on the video because I'm like trying to demonstrate in my sitting chair, but she used to flounce around. And at the end of the class, like she used to have us stand up and come to the front of the room. And I'm like, But at the end of the class, I spoke in front. And that was my very first point in actually coming up front other than playing a violin, right? When you're playing a violin, you don't have to use a voice.
Right.
You can use the music. You don't have to speak.
Yeah.
But after that class, I was just like, okay, I can do this. And now I find myself, I do a lot of engagements and a lot of events privately. I love speaking. There's always that heart race and there's always that, but when you engage with people, that is magical. And it really does bring me back to my inner child because I'm very bubbly and flouncy, I guess is the best way to put it. And that really comes out when I'm quote unquote performing, in front of people. And I think that's important for people to bring out because so many just clench up and they have that, you guys, you need to check the video. You're just clenching up and you're like, I can't, they're not able to really speak, right? They can't give everything you have to offer. because you're so nervous about what other people are thinking or that they're watching you, that you really can't give your true gift. And I'm going to align this specifically with business owners, because business owners, there are so many of us who don't can't, or they feel they can't. They have that perception of can't speak in front of people. Specifically in networking environments, you have a very difficult time getting up and speaking in front of people. And it's important to let that go and really give your inner child, because that's where you're going to be able to release your gift to other businesses, to your community, to your family, to your clients, your customers, your experience. And that is how Joanna so magically creates that bridge, because we really do, as business owners, need to be able to harness that inner passion, that inner child, that original self, to be able to pass on our specific gift. Everyone has a different gift, a different message, a different skill to bring to the world, to our community, to our experience. But we have to be able to tell and show in an animated fashion that brings other people towards us. And I love that you bring that to people, and you really help people to come to a point where they can let go and have that back, not learn it because you already knew it, but have it back.
That is exactly, you wrapped it up so well. And it's important in business networking settings to distinguish ourselves. And people are attracted to when they see our authentic self. So when we bring not a facade or a persona to mixing and mingling with other business owners, potential clients, those that we can serve, those who can use our products and services, we want to bring ourselves 100%, who we are and why we do what we do, our passion, why we care, why it matters. And we're going to stand out from all the rest, especially to that target customer that we're looking for. But it takes some facilitation.
You brought something up there that I know a lot of business owners struggle with. And maybe you did too. Why? I sure did. Why don't people get me? Why don't people understand what I'm bringing to them? Right?
Yes.
We've all gone through that in some measure, form, and fashion. But I would urge and remind each and every one of us, because I was there once upon a time too. I serve a very large mission personally. And I do still have to remind myself that it's okay. Not everybody is ready for my cup of tea. I am not Orange Pico. I am definitely more of an Earl Grey. I am a focused missionary, and I am very to the point and passionate about what I do. Definitely not the bland type, and not everybody is ready for that. And that's okay. So to all of the business owners, not everybody is ready for Earl Grey. Right? Or even, green tea. Not everyone's ready for green tea if you are green tea. It's your message is for specific people. And if you don't resonate with everyone, that is okay and it's perfect.
I love the tea avatar. I think I'm going to incorporate that into something, because that's actually a creative way. That's a creative exercise. What flavor of tea am I? Am I peppermint chamomile, like Celestial Seasoning Sleepy Time? Am I red zinger with hibiscus and lemongrass, right? And that's a great creative exercise. But you see how there's a creative way of bringing out ourselves. And when people, they're going to be attracted to that unique creative flair that we have that no one else does. Exactly. You can have red zinger with honey. You can have red zinger with sugar. You can have red zinger straight up. They're even. And
there's people who just want Orange Pico.
That's right. Good old Lipton, honey. Yes. So that's right. But there is competition. There's abundance, but there's competition in finding the person who's going to be your client. Yeah. And it's every
But
business.
How do you set yourself apart as a specialist? When you go for a solution, any type of solution, business, banking, whatever the case may be, you go to the specialist, you go to the guy, right? Because you've got a guy. You go to the specialist because you want the best solution to your current issue. You just do.
Yes. And it's a combination of being the subject matter expert that they can have confidence in, and also having resources available to that person, whether it's more knowledge, strategy, or even people in the network to help them take the next step. It's a combination of those things. And when you have a creative way of engaging with people, attracting them to you and your message, then that's going to really create positive emotions. And they're going to choose you because you did the work. You did the inner work in a creative way to present yourself with confidence. And when you present yourself with that confidence, that conviction, they're going to feel that conviction, and they're going to choose you from all of the others. And that's what's a good skill, really, for every business owner to learn to tap into their creative self so they can bring that genuine aspect of their personality and their unique experiences in life, to bring it to life when it comes to their business interactions. It's going to make a difference.
I think that it makes a difference not only in a business life, but a personal life and a relationship with self. And the relationship with self, I want to touch on that one real quick, because when we have the relationship with self and we can have that permission to be creative, to be authentic, to give people that real slice of you, that's where you get to give yourself permission to come back to who you were. And, really we're all on that journey, right? We're all looking for, happiness and joy, abundance, joy, right? Blessed.
Yes.
And I think coming back to that inner child by giving yourself, giving to others by creative expression, stories, analogies, the tea story. How many people would understand something like that if I didn't use tea, for example, if I used higher level words? I would have missed 2/3 of people I was speaking to. And over my years, I have learned so much. I have been through so many experiences that have been less than joyful, that now, I have learned so much and I've been able to give so much to others that I've stepped into a place where joy is every day, joy is every minute. And I am very much myself. Granted, I am not orange pico. I am probably more Earl Grey. I am not for everybody. But I'm here for the people who hear me. Absolutely. And I love that you're bringing people back to who they originally were.
There it is. There it is. We survive childhood in a positive way. There can be a positive connotation to that. And like you said, there's a liberation that takes place when you get in touch with that playful, curious, open, judgment-free child who wants to explore the world around us, explore the people that you come across, that adventure. And so that's just like you needed the flaming red hair, bouncy, animated English teacher to help you with the public speaking. I'm a facilitator, but it's with a grown-up style education. And that's different, but I'm facilitating that.
But more people need that. And they're not aware that they do because they spend so much time in, no, I'm adulting. I have to be a business owner. Everything is serious all the time. I focus, full serious. But that's not actually the objective. The objective is to let go and be that joyful child self. And that's where you're going to create the best solution, the best business, the best relationships with your family, the best relationships with your clients. That's where the actual creatorship happens, my friends, is by opening the child self, like Joanna's speaking about, and tapping into that. That's where you are really going to be able to multiply your business. Because your clients feel the tension, your vendors, your relationships, they feel the tension. They can smell it on you.
Yes.
I can. I'm sure you can, right, Joanna?
Yes, exactly.
You can smell the tension.
I was thinking the same thing. That's right. So diffuse that. Let them smell.
Yes. All you have to be is yourself. Yes. You don't have to be a stressed out business owner. You don't have to be a magical magician, but you definitely have to be authentic.
Right.
You definitely have to be authentic. And the best way to be authentic is to tap into that performing, that creative, that inner child self that Joanna helps to bring out. And by having this podcast today, my friends, on the Principled Women in Business, I really wanted to highlight that no matter how often we are told that we have to be serious, focused, and we have to be professional. No, you don't. Yes, you have to be professional, but you should absolutely be authentic. If you've ever dealt with me in any business dealing, I am very jovial. I joke around. I am very authentic. And granted, I am not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. Because the people I work with, they get me fully, and people who don't, that's all right. You're just not ready. When you find your inner self, your child self, your performing, your creative self, you'll be ready. So make sure that you're hooking up with Joanna at Matana so that you can get your less than adult restrictive self, because you're limiting your creative self. You're limiting your business. You're limiting what you're able to do currently because you've put a box around yourself is really what happened. You know how they said, think out of a box, think outside of the box? You want to know what I think is so funny about that?
What's that?
What box were we talking about? I don't live in a box. Do you?
No one. I don't think anyone intentionally lives inside of the box.
Outside of the box. That means they put a box on top of you. But where? I am personally sitting outside. Again, if you're not watching the video, I am sitting outside by a lake right now. I'm looking at the Spanish moss and the trees flowing and dancing in the breeze. What box? There's no box to think outside of. How far can you go is the actual question.
There you go.
So, Joanna, I'm so glad you came because I really personally was heavily impacted in precisely how you bring people forward. Even 4 years ago, try to get me to do a video. Good luck. I remember speaking to my mentor and he's like, seriously, Lauren, you need to do more video. Like you have quite a mission that needs to be dealt with and it's not going to be done in an email. And here I am, we're sitting out at a lake and we're having fun. We're having a great interaction. And everybody who sees this, who hears this, I know it hits in some form or fashion. I know it does. Even if you're not a business owner yet, there's still that portion of you is like, oh no, I can't be funny. I can't be myself because people are going to judge me. And listen, you're here for you. You're here for joy. You're here to spread love. You're here to be yourself. That's why you were put here.
Absolutely. So I look forward to the two of us. We connected on Facebook, and social media is where we can find those to be mentors, those who can support us, and where we can have new experiences and new adventures. I just want people to know how to spell Mattana. It's MATTANNA, MATTANNA.org is the website. And we have a little contact questionnaire where you can share a little bit about your background, not just your contact information, but your experience with the performing arts and things. And then we can just have a conversation and just find out how I can just help people liberate that creative performing artist in them and bring that unique flair to everything they do in life and in business. For more joy and satisfaction.
I love what you do, Joanna, because it like I said, how many times it really changed my experience on numerous occasions. And everyone who's hearing this and you reach out to Mattana, make sure that you tell them you heard them on the podcast, because I don't know, I had fun with you today. I hope you guys listening or watching so that you can see the beautiful lake caught on to that. But I'm glad that you came on the Principled Women in Business podcast today. And I really believe that, what you're doing is critical to not only business owners, but humanity in general. Humanity in general, especially nowadays with what happened on Friday and all of that goings on.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to put that on here because maybe people are listening now here in a few weeks. What happened on Friday is Roe v. Wade was overturned. So there is an entire national upheaval at this point, no global upheaval at this point, rightly so. So it's kind of, we're all, if you're watching this later on, that is the current happening. There's our time capsule right there. So when we look back at this in 5 or 10 years, it'll be overturned. It'll be back. Everything will be normal again. Everything will be normal again. We'll have everything will be good. So Joanna, thank you so much for coming on today. You're just not aware of how much of a pleasure it was to have you really sharing your message and your passion and the importance of what you do with all of the listeners, and everyone's going to be hearing this now and into the future.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation with you.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's do this again.
Yes, let's do it.
Everyone, this has been Joanna Tress with Mattana. And when you are looking to really release that inner self and be authentic and have that childlike performing, just natural self, you really need to reach out to Joanna with Mattana. Because her and Matt, they're great. I've met them both. You need to get in. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
I'm so joyful that you were able to join us for another episode this week. Make sure that you're subscribing. Press that like. Press that comment. Give me something. What questions do you have? What obstacles do you need to overcome? Do you want to be a guest on the podcast? Let's do all of the magic together, because it is truly a family affair. It takes a community, not only to raise a child, but to grow a business. Make sure that you're enlisting the right advisors, the right mentors, the ones that have been there, done that, experienced it, and beat it. Again, I'm Lauren Dulgiru, aka The Solutionist, here with the Principled Women in Business podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time, perhaps at the lake, and we'll have more dancing moss.
And that wraps up another episode of the Principled Women in Business podcast. Follow us on social media to never miss an episode and to unlock full access to your trusted business solution center. Find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, and YouTube. Till next time, stay strong and keep crushing. Find us at laurendulgeru.me or call 407-337-1117.